Come on, I'm blocking it. Alright. Back. Oh god, that was stuck. Why did I jump that? He's never doing anything that we have to watch, he said. say nothing? No. The pillar took all of them, yeah. Oh, come on, man. No, run with them. Got him. Pillar. Oh my god. I think it's fire time. Fire. Whoa! That was new though. I was trying to bird it, that was so safe there. What? Well, I'm blocking. What the hell? No, the head was like that, my life points. Oh, the lag. So it spiked there. Yeah, the game really spiked when the bird was plugged in there. That costed some CPU there. I was like, nope. A lot of power left. Family of firecrackers. I had teleport to 5, yeah. What? It's frozen. Bird time perhaps in a while. Finally. Hopefully it's another attack power release from my father. he deserves to be double memory of attack power. If the monkey is that corrupted and one of the monkeys, father surpassed. Man, my hand hurts! Oh my god, that was a hard battle. Oh, is that save this now? Yes, foster father. That would better give me a memory of someone. Because that was a hard battle. That is arguably, yeah, that's one of the ending, yeah. If you want to have the ending for purification. I do already have the dragon tier though. Yeah, the frozen dragon tier, so I mean I have most of them. Oh my god. My hand hurts. And I could feel the energy. I was like, oh my god. And I kept failing. I kept failing on my whole like throwing the cracker at him. Yeah, I was like, I got so into the battles. I was like, how do you cracker now again? I'm so used to punching this guy here. I forgot how to cracker. Oh, that took hours. That siege took hours. Not much today. I'm playing like maybe 1 hour today now to beat him. But yesterday I also played for an hour or two, so it took a while to get him. Of course, I could beat him earlier if you saw my previous attempt. My last attempt for that easily if I use my revives, but I am the kind of guy that's like I'm gonna beat all bosses with ever using a revive without the sharpen every recall, right? That's been my goal since the start. I never used it. I don't want to dragon rod people, so I never done that. And if I would do that, yeah, then it would be easier. So I mean, I want to kill every boss with 1 life, right? Of course, you use health potions, but you see what I mean. That's how I feel. This usually makes me better at the bosses eventually. Like there've been several bosses where I've beaten them all with perfect life. There've been a few of them where I have beaten them with taking damage at all, right? So eventually I forced myself to really not brute force them, right? Because if I used to use those extra lives, I would have killed him probably an hour ago, or half an hour ago. Probably even yesterday I would have killed him if I just spammed all my lives. Yeah. maybe. It's like having, I guess, 6 more health potions roughly so. But not necessarily, because if you use revive, I think it's much more worth than a health, than base health life, because this boss, right, he kills you quite easily sometimes. So it's more like, if you do that one big mistake, it's like, oh damn it, I blocked the wrong direction, and oh yeah, and you lose, you're dead, right? I think the boss does that generally, so the revive here is very strong. On every boss it's not like that, but this boss definitely one mistake will absolutely kill you. So I think that's a big reason. For example, I don't know, Gyobu is very easy. It's very easy. For example, Gyobu, there I would say that revive is equal to having, you know, 1 or 2 health potions, because that boss, you rarely do a mistake on that boss. I think he's probably the boss in the game. I would say, yeah, I'll say so. Yeah, Gyobu, the horse rider, is very easy. But the point is that, like, in that boss, you take like, you know, you take like ship damage pretty much. Not really, but you take like damage every now and then. He also does like suddenly one shot you. Yeah, it's not really like that. So if you survive on him, I assume, I never done it, but I would assume so. It's more like whatever, it's like, you know, gain full life again. Yeah, gain life again. It's like a health potion. That's what I mean. Where here it's much more like one mistake, bam, you're dead, right? So here it's much more, oh, you're screwed. So I do feel that challenge I put on myself to never use the revive, also to compete better the game, eventually better the game at least, even though I can't brute force him easily, puts this boss over the target. Anyway, let's talk about the boss. Let's discuss him a bit here. It's kind of late here now. I probably stopped playing an hour ago, but I felt that I'm gonna get in the boss now, so let's kill him. So okay, how to beat Owl 2 version 2. Then Owl version 1 is much easier for that matter, right? It's much easier, doesn't matter, everyone knows, it's way easier. I think the big issue why Owl 1 is much easier, because he has that the debuff thing, and that makes him so vulnerable, and he keeps doing the shuriken, and then the head spin, his massive cut, right, with my katana, or whatever, yeah, whatever he does, that thing, right, and that is not very, it's easy to avoid, and it makes him very vulnerable, like 1 or 2 attacks at least. So that's very true for first Owl. Second Owl, he still has the head spin, but he does it very rarely. So you lost that like easy to, you know, get 1 chip damage on him pretty much. Keep, you know, yeah, that little 1 punch every now and then is removed on Owl 2. That I feel is the biggest issue from him going from 1 to version 2 here. He doesn't have as many like free things. The biggest thing though, say right away though, killing Owl 2. Biggest thing, Mikuri counter, right? Absolutely. When he does that trust thing from like half distance, when I first saw it, I was like, what is happening? Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's flying and it's crazy, and it hits you, it spins around and it hits you pretty much dead, right? Yeah. It hits you, you lose more than half your life, like 80% of life, 70% of that. I have like, I think I have maximum life now, something like that. And but then it spins up too, and that usually hits you unless you roll really quickly in the right direction, depending on where you come from, and then you're dead. Right? So you die a lot from that, but if you learn to counter that thing, that's an absolute freaky. That's my #1 tip beating this guy. You absolutely have to learn to counter his fly in, right? That is trusted, because I mean I didn't fail a single time this time, and you see me, I just chickened out too. I know very well that you can escape the fire owl phoenix thing and then counter him, right? Because obviously it's weak after he does the owl thing, because the owl will fly down, you can jump over the owl, and then you can counter him when it's coming at you. But I felt that I was so confident now. So yeah, honestly, I feel like I can just like ship down second phase without having to like go in there, because that is definitely what you should do there, but it's the risk, right? So I just run away instead and just get the distance, because then you're sure that you're not gonna die, and then you can eventually just kill him from the normal attacks. But in the first phase, right, when you use the trust thing, that is a super easy thing. There should absolutely always be 1 free attack on him, or more, depending on what he does next and so on, and where he is in the corner and so on. Absolutely. And the thing how to do it, first I was shocked too, because he has this max distance one, right? But when I got into it, I was like, man, it actually is very easy actually, because the game is, for once, and that's definitely, the game is very nice to you when it comes to the timing. You can pretty much press, I feel, say you have like 1 second on you, right, to press. He's like, this is the interval, yeah, you have to press the button. And on some enemies you have to press like it's perfect timing, right? And some other enemies that internal interval is bigger, right? So you have, this is the, you know, here's the time frame, he starts and it comes to you, right? So during his movement you have to press the button somewhere. But actually you can pretty much press the circle button when he's like here to here pretty much. You have like a max, you have very big, you have very good interval there. So actually just keep doing it. I would say that's absolute number step one. Just keep learning the time that circle thing. It's actually very forgiving actually. Almost the most forgiving in the whole game. And he's absolutely the biggest weakness then. So if you can do that him right, you will get like at least one attack on him every time. You can probably throw in some freaking, you know, samurai ninja moves there, which I tend not to use now. We can probably, yeah, even that, so whatever, that's number one, absolute. That should always be a free attack on him. If you can't do that, you probably can't kill him, because that is just, this is so much damage on him. That is phase one, that's probably like 10 attacks for me at least, each time. He's a free punch, yeah. That's number one. Number two is definitely also the sword cut, right? You can both do a combo there, but you can also generally easily get in 2 attacks there, and depending on, again, he's a little weird owl, but it depends on what he does after you attack him, right? Because as in the first owl fight, he kind of does the kick sometimes, he kind of does like a slow attack sometimes. So what you can do is, no matter what situation, right, you kind of get like, you know, a punch on him, a cut on him, and then you can usually do 2 more safely, almost always. And then if you just a kick thing, if you just like the, I'll say one of his red things, you actually cancel him. So you can do like 3 attacks after that. But when he does this thing, right, the very slow, very slow cut down. When he does that thing, you can actually do first 1 punch, right, and then cancel block, and then do the combos. You actually have time there to do 1 chip attack, and then like dunk, yeah. So that is way better, right? It's way better. For me, it's like a typical fighting game where you're fighting someone like, I don't know, like Abigail in Street Fighter 5, get example of this. So he does this like charge against you in Street Fighter 5. If you hit him a few times, you break it, right? You break his armor. And for example, if you can shoot with a cat like Ed in Street Fighter, you can do like a fireball there first while it's running it, and then you can punch him. So the first fireball kind of breaks his, you know, like and then you can do the combo, right? So you actually get like a free hit on him with the fireball, because he doesn't actually stop doing his combo until you start doing your combo at him, where he has 2 attacks. So it's more like the first attack is like a free shot then, if you can do it correctly and timing and so on. But I feel it's very similar here against Owl. When he starts charging, you can punch him once, right, or cut him once, or even you can of course crack him and so on, but you can do something else, yeah. You can put 1 attack in there, block it, and then you can do the combo, right? So I think that's a massive thing, as it gives you like a free attack each time before you try to do the combo, right? So that's a lot of damage. And after, of course, as with every attack, so the third thing then, that's one more thing on the cutting thing. When he does the cutting thing, you do want to go to the left side, yeah. So you want to go left, speaking in this boss, you want to go to the right direction depending on what you do. You want to go to your left, because usually, depending on course where you are, it can be a pillar in the way, it can be the wall in the way and so on, and how he cuts you. But if you're standing, you know, straight to him, like 180 degree or 0 degree, and how you stand straight to him, going to the left, this is my left, so this is your right, yeah. Going to the left is actually a short distance, which I actually like in this game, because as in reality, you know, depending on what arm you attack with and so on, right, your distance is obviously different. So if you go on his right, your left, right, that's gonna like make him miss you actually easier than if you go into his. So basically, if you go outside his body, right? So if you go outside of him instead of inside of him, as in normal martial art, if you go inside of my body frame, it's a bit punch at you. If you go outside of it, it's hard to reach, right? So if you go inside of him, it's gonna miss easier. So go left during that. Always try going left unless you know you can't go left because it's like a pillar in the way. That's a big thing too when you cut it. So the third thing then, already mentioned it, when he does his whole combo shenanigan, he does like a weird startup, you can pretty much cut him a lot. And one thing I almost killed him with once, I just tried it another time, and not this playthrough here, but before this, I was like doing this thing. But very like, you know, what happens then, that is pretty good actually, because when you get him in the corner, that's the best thing to do. Or like, you know, just spam combo because you can't really move them. Because if you do like this thing at him, it means you cannot, you punch him once, right? You cut him once, and then he's gonna like go back a bit. he's going to do a new move, and then you kind of like, yeah. So instead of doing a combo, you kind of like dunk, right? Dunk, and then each time he kind of tries to start moving, he gets like that cut in his face, yeah. So depending on what he randomizes, like if I have kick, if I have any red thing, even the smoke thing to his like thing, sometimes because you might get exploded by that thing, but even that gets interrupted by like, yeah, like that thing. So that's like everybody would interrupt him, and generally you want to put him in the corner, right, and do like, you know, you slash him because he's a hard time moving in it there. So generally, whatever he does after you land a combo at him, like the start of a combo, he is gonna kind of randomize something ability. Like the kick is the best thing while you are comboing, because then he's going to kick into your blade and he's gonna take damage, right? So you can definitely do a few attacks there, or you can do that dunk, 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 that kind of thing. And that's kind of similar to, I mean, the whole thing here where you dunk, block, dunk. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that whole kind of, you know, weird little cut there, as you won't always block it, right? So that's a big thing, I think, generally. Especially, I think, as a hard boss, and every boss can do this thing, when the boss starts, right, run in there and go crazy at it. Go ham at him, preferably at the wall corner. He jumps back, same with the golden ape, and he wants to escape because he's you know, his back is into the wall. Cut him again, right? I think that's great because you do it in the beginning, and if you do that, he's obviously gonna take some damage. Maybe you're gonna fail, but usually I feel he can get a lot of damage in for the first few, like, you know, 4 or 5 combos there when he's stuck against a pillar. And obviously that's how you should do the whole boss. If you do it perfectly, unless your poster is bad, you have to go back then. Or when it does his cracker thing. That his cracker thing is pretty much saving him from being in the corner too much, right? Or PvEs, I guess. And the thing is that if you just go crazy at him in the first engagement, the first seconds, it's worth it, because if he does like a perfect smoke thing, captures around, you're screwed. You can restart, right? Or you can gamble it and get, like, you know, quarters life from that. So I think that's the best start always. It's very, very aggressive in the beginning, because sometimes being aggressive at him really pays out. So you get like the dex damage, and if it fails again, right, you just, of course, you replay it. So that's like my general tip, I would say. And of course, you have to put him in the corner as well. Oh, the only reason he actually can't be in the corner general is again because of the firecracker, which has to escape that. So, what about the firecracker then? The firecracker thing is something I noticed after a while. It's very obvious. No one I've beaten him, it's actually very obvious. God damn it! When you do the firecracker thing, so it's like, you know, you deflect him. It's like 4 or 5 attacks, right? Something that whatever. Yeah, it's very obvious. That's gonna do the massive firecracker right there. There's a capture all your life points. It just kills you right away. And if you block, you take a lot of damage. That one, you have to move to the right. So I learned today when I played the game, you have to run to his right, your right, his left, because he's cutting from his other side, right? So if you run to the other side, it might work. If you run way more like backwards, then you're still safe. But if you run towards him to the right, you have to go a little bit outside of his body, but you can be much, much more closer to him running to the right than to the left. If you run closer to the left, you're gonna get hit and die pretty much, if you have like maximum life points. But if you go to the right, you're gonna be safe most of the time. So if you go like a big circle to the right, it's much safer than going to the left. And after he does that and the cracker thing, you can definitely at least combo him twice, if not even more, depending on what he does next, right? So that is actually turning out to be one of the best things to get at you, especially during the second phase, because that is an easy punish. And what more does he do? One thing that, but he does the shuriken, you should move. He's either gonna do the classic overhop, which he stopped doing pretty much this battle, right? Or he's gonna do the cutting thing, the slash, kind of like you can do after your throwing stuff. And both of them, it is to kind of move around and avoid. I though chicken out. Honestly, I just block them. I'm chicken out because it's kind of hard sometimes to see it when it does it from the smoke screen, kind of after the cracker. So I just kind of defend them usually because they're kind of hard to predict exactly, as you can't see them, and the camera is kind of wanky. One thing I did, by the way, is I turned off the camera at speed 10. I did this, but that helped a lot actually. That's a secret. That's secret tips. Get a faster camera, yeah, because that helped a lot with the camera actually, being at speed 10. It made it much better actually. What more does he do? He does the cock thing. He does obviously. I mentioned that, I guess, because I kind of didn't. That's the opposite to me. But it does red stuff, except obviously the massive thrust. And the thrust is always only after the cracker thing, and that's the easiest thing to counter. All the red stuff, right, is jumpable. Yeah, it's always going to be a slash right and leading into this thing. So you're always going to do that. And of course, generally, I didn't say it before, but when he does the red thing, you don't want to jump on top of him. You want to jump next to him, so you get a free double attack and then like one attack and then the combo. You don't want to jump on top of him. That actually cancels this thing, and you won't actually get the combo. So you don't want to you don't want to do it unless he's very close to losing his stance and posture breaking, because then he will die, right? So that is fine. But otherwise, no, don't jump next to him so you get the safe thing. And generally, forget even him to trigger this thing. You should be closer to aggressive. You want to be in his face, so then you can punish it easier. If you're too far away, it usually is gonna just cancel it. So or doing the spin thing instead. So you don't want to do that. You want to be closer to him. That's his first phase 1 thing, right? Doesn't do much more than that. I'm wondering for this boss. Am I forgetting something? No, I think that is his first phase, right? Just the kick. So the kick is obviously extremely punishable if you correct time it, but also the kick is completely it's also harmless, so it's like a risk-reward thing. If you want to take that chance, it's kicking you, it might as be the combo. Okay, second phase then. The bird thing, it makes him annoying, because a lot of times you see, oh, he's gonna be with the combo now, he's gonna disappear. That's the worst thing with that field, and the camera goes cray, and you can't really combo it. It's really annoying. But my biggest tip, I said it jokingly before, I stand by it, freaking speed up that camera. Man, I'm happy with that, because that made it was easier for me. Like, seriously, I think that was like made the boss way easier. Maximum camera speed, because he's really like doing this thing, right? And when he does that thing, the camera has hard time following him. But if you have maximum speed camera, it's actually better at not losing focus and so on, and behind the pillar. So that was a big thing. I liked that. That actually was big. It was big doing the whole camera speed up. It actually helped a lot. I didn't think we had that much, but it actually helped. I would say it made the boss like 20 or something easier, roughly around there. Yeah, actually it's like remarkably easier. Like it shouldn't. I mean, I hate the camera again. Whatever. So he does that thing. That's kind of annoying. Makes him longer time. So I want to be aggressive. Like what I do, of course, is I save all my spirit emblems to the last phase. You shouldn't need them in phase 2, right? You can phase 1. You can use them maybe one to like finish him off, I feel, but otherwise save them all, right? Phase 2 is much harder, mainly because he's superior, right? So if you wanna do the cracker, and you look at the match, it's a bad fight for me. I don't have better fight him earlier with the crackers. You wanna crack him as soon as he leaves his owl, like ghost form, whatever, teleporting, whatever you wanna call it. That's when you wanna punish him, right, with the cracker, so you know you have a safe combo at him, and also for healing and so on. So I feel like the cracker, again, best thing in the game by far. It's even better against Beast, right? It's so broken. After the cracker, I said that the helmet is the best thing, right? The umbrella tip, because you can like easily kill under that one. Very imbalanced too. Very strong fire, so whatever. Him, I think Cracker's the best one. I tried all the rest. I tried all of them. I tried poison him, I tried fire. You can fire him and so on, but all of that is it takes much time, and it's like it's at least 2 fire attacks. So that is 6 number of your spirit, and it's 3 times 2 instead of the cracker only costs 2. It's very imbalanced. It should cost more, but yeah, so the cracker costs more, less, right? So it's like 3 cracker or 2 fire, or it's more like 3 fire sometimes to get into burning, depending on the time frame and so on. So I think it's way more expensive. I definitely think that the cracker is what you want to have. I might be wrong though, it might become something better, but I'm hard time seeing it. I've tried everything as I mentioned. One thing that does work though is you can use the umbrella thing against the bird and so on, but the umbrella is also broken. You can umbrella everything. you can do the fire feeds and everything, yeah, and it protects you. So that is true though, you can do the umbrella. Well, but what more does it do? Oh yeah, he teleports around. That is very punishable. The only reason it's a hard time, in my opinion, punishing a teleport is that it isn't that hard, because I just run away from it because I feel it's annoying. I just like, whatever, I'm out of here. But the only reason you can't actually punish it sometimes is because of the camera, right? Because it's like you're running this direction, you see the bird flying like here, so you know it's like here, but the camera is like, so yeah, so you like screw it. So I just turn off the camera and I run. One thing I definitely learned in this spot is that I turn off the camera voluntarily. Usually I never unfocus the camera, except very rarely. That's when I want to run. Same with crafted monk, I think when he's teleporting around, or yeah, the second monk. So I feel like I just turn off the camera and just run away from him, just doing the bird or teleporting, and then you're safe, right? Then you're safe at least. You're really bad strategy that way. No, but I think I don't want to do that, but it really feels to me like it's all about that. Yeah, it's all about the freaking camera, in my opinion. If I had the possibility to much easier be able to like run, turn, cut him without having the camera going wank all the time, that his teleporting would be so much easier to punish. So that is definitely, I feel, unnecessary hardware with the camera, which I do, in my opinion, is the worst thing of the game. But and that also makes it kind of unfairly hard in a way there. I think you're supposed to be able to counter easier there. I tend to escape him as a coward because I feel the camera annoys me too much. No, but I feel I know when to time it. It's more like the camera is just helping me, so I'm turning around, I want to cut here, but the camera is pointing that direction, right? So it'll be like, oh yeah, and then I miss him, and then you get punched, yeah. But otherwise, it's not that hard to punch him when it lands. You have to the important thing is to look with the what's called, where the owl is flying, right? So sometimes it spins at you, but usually you kind of like determine, okay, I'm here, he's flying like this, it's gonna be here on me, to run like that. Yeah, so you have to kind of think about, how is it flying, right? Generally, when he does, what more does he do? He only has actually 2 new moves, right? Which is important. That is that thing, and of course the fire thing. Again, the fire thing, I'll run it. I focus my camera in another direction. Best way, in my opinion, to outrun it, right? Otherwise, what you can do is that, of course, you supposed to time it, jump it over, and then time his thrust, right? And then you can pass it a lot. Otherwise, you will have to. I'll say it. You can also stand behind the pillar. This is the only thing the pillar are useful in the boss reveals. You can run away and heal behind them usually sometimes, but yeah, like that I definitely say is best use of the pillars. If you can't run away from it, you have to the pillars. That's what the final has a meaning. And then otherwise he does the kunai thing too. Yeah, his kick is finally not completely useless, but I don't think it matters that much in my opinion. Like you just block that one, and either you step his kick, right, and you punish him because he missed his kick. If he lands kick on you, you just block it, and then you block also his kunais, or sorry, his shurikens. It's very simple. So I don't think that the kick actually matters anything, honestly. It's just it might hit you, but it really shouldn't, unless if you're like posture broken. That's very uncommon after this boss. I feel actually that he almost never breaks my posture. It's more that he kills you if you do a mistake. Much more than he actually breaks the posture, I think. Much more. But that's pretty much it, I feel. Second phase, generally, what you want to punish, I guess, right, is again, I think he finally lost his firecracker ability. You run to his right side, you punish him, and that's probably the best one, punish him. Or sometimes he does the cutting thing. And generally, though, he's gonna turn like immortal or whatever, right? He's disappear right every now and then. So again, I feel the firecracker is the best way to retain him as he lands, right, or punish him when he lands to one. And if you're lucky, he's gonna do the thrust at you, right? Every now and then he does the classic firecracker and thrust at you. Easy, free damage, right? So that's what you want. That's great. You wanna see that? Yeah, then it's like, okay, I can punch him now. So that is really great. That's exactly what you want. Yeah, then you're happy. Then you're like, oh yeah, I did this thing. Great. I can punish that. Yeah. So that is absolutely what you want. What more does he do? He does that thing. I would say I mainly punish him when he firecracker and when he does the cut, right? Those are the 2 easiest one. Or some rarely does the thrusting. Yeah, those are the 3 easy, like shipping him down. Otherwise, it's when if you get a good owl position, yeah, he teleports after you, you turn around, you cut him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I feel about owl. But I also feel that I would definitely say the first phase is hard as everything in the game until you learn it. And when you learn it, I think you should be able to get through the first phase without any item, any drives, anything. And if you have I mean, I didn't feel I played it bad, that good even this last attempt here. But I was close killing him several times before during this last hour here on the stream. And it's like, I used to get even like 20 of 20, I can do 10 firecrackers, that's 10, at least 10 combos at him. So that's like half his life points. So already there you should be able to pretty easily. And the firecracker again is so good because you can stop him from, as soon as he reappears, you can like, you know, stun him short so then you can get it, yeah. Anyway, then I feel is, that's Owl, I don't know, I think it's, yeah, the general thing is like knowing how to punish the cracker, the cutting, and of course his crust. Those three are the keys, in my opinion, by far, when you have to, when you have to do stuff. If you can punish those three stuff, you can just block or avoid everything else, in my opinion. I would definitely say that. So anyways, that's my guide on that thing. Let's go